most interestingly, the board gives a solution to that. We are extremely humbled and privileged that we release such a fascinating book today. We have amidst us this evening the author himself, our beloved sir, Mr. Pradip Mukherjee, and also with him Mrs. Falguni Pathak ma'am, who is working with Pradip sir in this work with God. Also with us, Mr. Snehashi Shul, very well respected journalist and president of Calcutta Press Club. Sri Shubhit Gomi, former BBC Bureau Chief and author. Professor Urmi Dey of Women's Christian College, a renowned author in her own right. May I have called upon Sri Snehashi Shul, Sri Shubhit Gomi, and Professor Dey to come on the dais and take their seats. I am requesting Kavita Toshniwal and Mrs. Navya Kakani to accompany them to the dais. And now, this is my proud privilege to invite our beloved sir, Mr. Pradip Mukherjee and Falguni Pathak ma'am on the dais. I am requesting Tanmay to accompany them to the dais. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for giving all of us this precious opportunity to bask in the energy of God. We would like to offer our deepest and sincerest gratitude to all our distinguished guests. All right. May I now call upon Convoy Roy to formally felicitate Professor Urmi Dey. May I now call upon Chinmay Sharma to felicitate Sri Shubhit Gomi. I am requesting Kavita Toshniwal to felicitate Sri Snehashi Shul sir. May I now call upon Navya Kakani to felicitate Falguni Pathak ma'am. And now I am inviting Sri Ritik Mukherjee to formally felicitate Mr. Pradip Mukherjee sir. We have a short video of the book. I request to play. Now, the moment has come. We all have been waiting for. The release of the book Message from God. I am requesting all our distinguished guests on the dais to please unveil the book. I can say it's a historic moment now. For the first time in this world, a book is being released in Kolkata Press Club that is Decoding God, a book that reveals the hypnosis of materialism, religion, and spirituality. A book that promises to free us from our daily suffering. From my own experience and from the experience of thousands of people, I can say that the book not only promises, but it actually does. We are pleased to hear from all our honorable guests. Let me introduce Mr. Snehashishu before I request him to say something. Sri Snehashishu is a veteran and one of the best known broadcast journalist who was almost synonymous with Doordarshan News in this part of the country. A media teacher and a trainer, Srishu has been recipient of multiple awards in the field of journalism. I would request her, please share her words with us.
Good evening. Thank you, madam. Most respected Mr. Pradip Mukherjee, Professor Urmi Roy, Professor Falguni, and my senior journalists, Sri Shubir Bhomik and Mr. Devashish Chakraborty, two of my seniors, and my fellow journalists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before I actually try to say something on this occasion, let me tell you two things. One is, in today's world, everything is buy one, get one system. So you book the press club, you get the president of the club to be present on the occasion. As an abundant caution that if the guests are unable to come due to traffic jam, due to rain or something, you have to. Number two, generally I do not want to do this. But when Ritik says something, Ritik knows that I cannot say no. Whether it's Sunday, whether it's morning, whether it's evening, that's the relation we have in our fraternity. But I would like to make a small correction that in a place where Sri Shubir Bhomik is a guest, I cannot be the chief guest. So you read Mr. Shubir Bhomik as chief guest, and I'll request the announcer to kindly correct. I am in the series of also spoke on the occasion. The journalists know that there is a category. Also spoke on the occasion. So I am present here in the also spoke on occasion. I congratulate our author in dealing with such a subject. And I really feel honored that a book of such a subject is unveiled in a place called Press Club. Press Club is known for a lot of activities which are well known around the world. Book release is not a new phenomenon. But a book of such introspection, the book which deals with divinity, the book which deals with our own problem, is being unveiled in a place like Press Club. We feel honored and blessed to have this healing touch of this situation. There are situations which are very positive, which gives you a healing touch, a good feeling, feel good. This is one such occasion. My dear friends, in everyone's life, how big, how small we are, how rich, how poor we are, how healthy and how non-healthy, sick we are, to remain good is the major problem. Why we have come here as a human being, and what we all are supposed to do and what we all are doing. These are the questions we ask ourselves every morning when we get up, and every night the same question we try to introspect when we go to bed. Are we in the right track? Now, what is God? At least you know I am not the competent person to define God, maybe in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe in 10 days, and maybe in my own lifetime. I am neither a priest, nor a monk, nor an expert. But to us, any one of us, God is a symbol of something good. Whether it is good, whether one can do it, what is a good life? Why? Whether one can go for it. It should be good to you, to the others, to the community, to the country, to the nation, to the world. The goodness is the divine. That is equated with God. And this is our struggle. Mental problem, anxiety, tension, to find out the path which is correct, which is right, which is just. I hope this book answers all these questions, at least give us a way. We don't know how far we'll be able to follow and achieve. This is with us. But the indicative is more than enough that some indications are being given. We don't know where is God and how does He look like. But we know what is good. Good to me, good to others, good to the society, good to the country, good to the nation. I believe this book gives us this way to be a good, why we are human beings, why we are different than others. We have come here for a certain period of time, we all will go and will not carry anything. So what is our pride? What is our ego? What is our wealth? What is our all achievements? We'll have to leave all this. What is a good life is very important. Important to me. You can say that I'm not good. It doesn't matter whether I know I'm living a good life. I believe this book is going to show us the way. My dear friends, it's up to us whether how much we can follow and achieve. But at least we have something which is an indication, which gives us what to do. I'm grateful to the author that he has done some research and he has presented such a book which deals with our inner self, our goodness, divinity, faith, belief, and last but not the least, good life, which is good to everyone. I'm grateful that I am being able to be a part of something I said of good feeling of good feeling good, because it's towards God, it's towards good. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Let me introduce Professor Roy. Dr. Urmide was always passionate about studying the metaphysical nature of things. Thus, philosophy became her major subject. Thus, philosophy became her major subject. She is an assistant professor in philosophy in Women's Christian College, Kolkata. Also, she is an renowned author. Her first book, Terrorism and Epidemic of Today's World, Can There Be a Solution? She also writes for the Bulletin of Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture. Apart from being an academician, she is also a vocalist, performing regularly in television and a trained Bharatanatyam and Kathak dancer. I will request Professor Lee to say a few words.
Thank you so much. Respected dignitaries present here, revered audience, and today's author, my warm wishes to you all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be present in such a program which bestows grace of God upon us, connecting a link between God and humans. The book Message from God, written by the author, is indeed fascinating and admixture of surrealism and pragmatism. Our life is like that. Some things which happen to us, we do not often understand why they have happened, and we try to find causes. It's not that easy. God is the one who actually coordinates the results of our actions, which might not be obtained by us immediately, but it would be obtained by us someday or the other. We see many human beings on this earth who are so good by nature, they are philanthropic, they do so much of good work, but still they are suffering. On the other hand, we see some people who are miscreants, but they are leading a flamboyant life, and we ask, why is it so? We wonder, how is it so? The thing is, perhaps they have done some good work in their past lives, and now that they are not doing good, they would be paid for that. So these things are all related in a causal chain. Whatever we see on this earth has a causal connection with each other. The connection is not always understood by us very transparently, but we have to find the cause of everything to have a clear and distinct notion. This is what philosophy has taught me over these years. So philosophy is known as darshan, the correct vision, right vision, Shambhav Drishti jake bole. Now the thing is, everything is related as I was saying in a causal chain. Now, B is an effect. It does not come out of nothing. It comes from C. Again, C has a cause B. B has a cause A. Now, if we go on like this and this, then this would lead on to an infinite regress. So we have to stop somewhere. This is where we stop in A by saying A is self-caused. A is the cause of everything else, but A is not caused by anything else. And this first cause of everything, what we see in the world, is God. Now, some say in our Western philosophy that we attribute all good qualities to God. If this be the case, then He should be existent because we, the finite beings, are existing. So why not God? He is almighty, omnipotent, omniscient. So He should exist. But where is He? If He is existent, can we see Him like the audience we can see today in this hall? We cannot. Immanuel Kant, the philosopher, in Critique of Pure Reason, written by him in 1781, said that there are things which we cannot see. They are beyond our sense organs. We cannot touch them, taste them, smell them, or hear them. And in case of God, we cannot know them through know Him through pure reason also, Kant says. So there are two ways by which we can have knowledge, one by sense organs, one by reason. But Kant says both fail in case of God. Then how do we know God? We are discussing about God, we are communicating, and we are also understanding, nodding. God is a thought. God is faith, according to Kant. God is not a knowledge. So Kant opens the window for faith as far as God is concerned. So this is the first metaphysics that he has found. We know physics means matter. Metaphysics is beyond matter. It is God's soul and universe as a whole, as Kant says. God is the first cause of all creation. Soul is the first cause of our mental feelings, and universe as a whole is the first cause of everything happening or events happening over here. So these are the first causes of things which we see in this physical world, as Kant has said. Now, I would like to mention another thing. I won't take much of time. This is like if we are wearing a white cloth and we are onto a journey. Now, at the end of our journey, it is a long journey. When we come out of our transport, if we were traveling by ship, after 1 month when we are coming out, the white cloth does not remain white anymore. It becomes stained. Dirt and dust accumulates in different parts of it. Similar is the case with us. We are actually part and parcels of that Almighty because He is the Creator and we are the creation. We are His creations. So we are like Him. At core, we are all pure. But contamination takes place as we come to this world and as we do different kinds of karmas. And thus, the pure core gets contaminated with the dirt and dust particles. Now, a person who follows serials, I think many of you do over here, from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, like that goes on. Now, a guest comes into that person's house, rings the bell, he opens or she opens the door and says, please let me follow this, I'm a serial addict and this part is really important. So this guest says, okay then, a person here is shown as brutally beaten up by another person and the host says that very good, this should have been the case with him only. Now the guest says, you're so cruel, I mean this person is getting cruelly beaten up and you're saying that very good, right? Because the other person, that is the guest, did not see the serial from with us. God has seen the reel of our life, each and every episode. So we think that why us? Why am I suffering? I did not do anything bad, but He knows what we've done and what we have not. Now, in Indian philosophy, in their school of philosophy, God is believed to perform certain activities like Ayodhana, meaning He arranges for us. God is also responsible for Dhriti, meaning He holds the entire weight of the world. God fulfills our Pradip, meaning God is we are faithful to God. Why? Because if we keep this faith on God, then we would not commit any sinful actions. God is also known as Shruti. The Vedas are Apurusheya, which means God Himself has written the Vedas and He Himself has talked about them or talked about God to us. Vakyat and Padat, any object which we call as bottle, bag, etc., these terms are given by God, Ishwar Shanke, as Nayanikas state. And Adrishya, He also fixes our destiny, but He cannot change our destiny. If we think that we are becoming a very good devotee of Him, so He can, change the bad karmas and bad results. This will not be the case. It is not like of a teacher towards her or his good student. God is not like that. You have to suffer your bad result. And the Charvakas, on the other hand, they are disbelievers of God in Indian philosophy. They say that the king of the state is God. The Buddhists believe that Lord Buddha is the God, and the Jainas believe that Tirthankaras are the God, who are human beings only, and they have just transcended this plane. And how they have done it, we have to follow them. In this context, I would like to mention that Sir has written such a book only, which would today teach us how we can transcend these trivialities of the material world and can reach to the ultimate reality, which perhaps is not Brahman, which the Advaita states. Sir aims to mean God as something which is even beyond Brahman. And what is that truth? Now we have to read this book, all of us, so that we can get peace in our life. And peace is our nature, the original nature of each and every soul. Whatever we are doing today, we are doing it in order to get some amount of happiness and peace. So let us all come together and read this book today. Thank you so much, and my heartiest congratulations to Sir, and I consider myself to be lucky to come in contact with such a person, and in front of you all, I could say some words on God so that I can gain His grace. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. We are glad today we have got Ranjan Sheen, past Secretary, Bangladesh Deputy High Commission. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. And today we have got Sri Shobhit Bhome, sir. Shobhit Bhome is a former BBC journalist, columnist, and an active author. He has studied the crisis of India's Northeast. I am requesting Sri Shobhit Bhome, sir, to address the gathering with few words.
The chief guest here, as Snehajish was trying to suggest, chief guest is Pradip Mukherjee. We're all here to discuss, reflect, and talk about the book. The most important thing here in this book, and I had a quick read, and why I tend to like it, is because I am very much against institutionalized religions. I believe that across the world, people who think they interpret God, they are the avatars, they are the people who, are the retailers and the wholesalers of God, are the source of 90% of the conflicts that goes on in the world. This is where somebody with a clear message of God, where it's as simple as going and clicking on a barcode and getting a mantra and feeling peaceful, feeling at ease, and realizing the real energy that divinity brings. simplifies this whole business called God. Because God is big business. You look at the temples, you look at the, Alaska Mosque or any of these mosques, a big grand mosque in Cairo where I've been to, or Makkah, or the Papal Order in Vatican, they are big corporate business. Get this right. And therefore, anything, any order, be it political, be it religious, if it deals with money, it can't be God, because this is where the departure from God starts. Because any religious order that thrives on so much money, so much wealth, is a departure from the road to God. That's my understanding. For the very simple reason that money is the other name or the source or the road to greed. লোক যেখানে আছে, যেখানে আর যাই হোক, ঈশ্বরের কাছে পৌঁছানোর রাস্তা প্রশস্ত হবে না। এই টাকা পয়সার লোভের ফলে এর সাথে এই বাবার সাথে ওই বাবা, এই হুজুরের সাথে ওই হুজুর, এই পোপের সাথে অমুক, এইসব গন্ডগোল থাকবে পৃথিবীতে। আমি এখানে একটা ছোট ঘটনা বলি, I need to recount. I had a very good friend who used to be a Maulana in Bangladesh. And I knew him, and we used to argue. He used to say, religion is everything. And I said to him, if religion is everything, why have several Christian powers fought 2 world wars? Why have you broken away from Pakistan? Why does India have problem with Nepal, which is the only Hindu Rashtra? Because at that time it was Hindu Rashtra, not the secular Republic of Nepal today. It was the king. It was the march of God on earth. Problem here is religion is not only an insufficient condition for a modern nation state, especially when there is so much plurality and diversity around. It's also an insufficient condition for spirituality, for reaching God. So the trouble is, when the trouble starts, Utta Shosher Mokhi. Order কাছে পৌঁছানোর জন্য এই আলাদা আলাদা ধর্ম, আলাদা আলাদা কায়দা কানুন, আলাদা আলাদা মসজিদ মন্দির, আলাদা আলাদা architecture, this is breeding conflict, and this is the source of trouble. So anybody who simplifies God and makes you look at the basics. When I went to BBC for training, we had a brilliant training module, a video followed up by actuals, which is called Back to Basics. Back to Basics. This is back to basics. You know what? You are fantastic, high-flown business journalists who can't read a proper balance sheet and think they're, experts. So basics. Big defense journalist doesn't know the difference between a 303 rifle and an AK-47. So back to basics. So this is back to basics. And the reason I like this is he talks of healing. When Mr. Mukherjee, I'm calling him Mr. Mukherjee because he has no credential to be a Baba or anything, right? I like such people. Spoke of healing. Because the world needs healing. Human beings need healing, society needs healing, everybody needs healing. And if something that promises healing, I am game for it. In our neighborhood today, leave aside India and the conflict. The state of Myanmar is falling apart because of conflict. You have a Buddhist Sangha there, you have the military generals. Some time back, the most powerful Buddhist monk in Myanmar, he was here in Kolkata recently. He goes to military barracks and he encourages them to attack people of other religions. The Burmese army, Buddhist army, primarily. He encouraged them to go attack Rohingyas, and he talked of some king from Sri Lanka in the past, Buddhist king obviously, who slayed enemies and things. What kind of religion are these people performing? People who are asking their followers to go on the road to war, of conflict, rather than peace. And we have enough of these breed in our country as well. So I'm very impressed by the exposition here. And this gentleman here has no godly pretensions. This is the most important thing. He just says, through him, God is communicating. So whatever he's saying is not his. Which means what? He's just a messenger, he's just a postman, right? So, I'm impressed by the exposition, and I think he didn't agree. He said it's not his. I said this is some fundamental thing. Askal na, he cut and pasted John the fundamental thinking how I is. In this cut and paste, Omuk said, John Galton said, I can come across all kinds of academics. I'm not an academic by pretension. I'm an Oxford PhD, and I've done enough work on insurgency, diplomacy, and stuff like that. And I'm a president fellow at the National Defense University. So I'm a man of war, basically, or people who propagate war, but I'm also a man of peace. You understand peace only when you have been in the scene of war. Nobody understands the need for peace more than the soldier does, because he sees the horrors of war. And my friends are all soldiers, commanding, armies all over the place. Out of the 3, 4 core commanders who faces Chinese across the border, 2 are my Chela will Bengali. What I'm trying to make here is that this is a book and this is a thinking which can be used for very strong peace diplomacy. And now, a step out of the world of humanity, stop discussing that and talk of the present. What is India all about? The mantra that came out of the G20 and all that. Is that in this world of extreme divisions, extreme conflict, India comes up with a message of peace to the land of Gandhi, and in the neighborhood we have Myanmar falling apart, we have Israel, Palestine thing, and we have. So who are the problems? Who wants these conflicts to go on? And who are the people attacking them? My great teacher, John Baldwin, who I fondly remember was the greatest theorist of international relations. He taught us climate in 1970 when no Westerners talk of climate. Climate is a factor of international, very fundamental thing. They said, I remember God saying, I said, to me, something important. This kind of thinking can provide the meat for Indian peace diplomacy, which our Prime Minister also highlighted in G20. That we need weapons to defend ourselves. But India is a country which has never encroached on somebody's territory. We will create our own space in the global water through the diplomacy of peace, and we need to carry this forward. Now, who are the biggest opponents of India in this respect? The people who thrive on defense industry. John Babu used to say, devil theory of imperialism. You know the Leninian theory of imperialism? Imperialism is the highest form of capitalism, you said. But what is the devil theory of imperialism? That these people, these massive industrial complexes, defense industrial complexes, have a vested interest in promotional conflict and war. Why is Ukraine not able to sit on the table with Russia today? Because of the Americans. These Americans have given $3 billion worth of military weapons and equipment to the Ukrainians to show off the superiority of their weapons, and have got orders of their weapons of something in the vicinity of $78 billion from 23 different countries. That's a lie. मेरा सामान दे दिया ना, मेरे से खरीदो, रशियन चीज मत खरीदो, उसका गाइडेंस सिस्टम वीक है, वो लोग खुद चीप नहीं बनाते. If America is your friend, we really don't need it anymore. We are realizing this now. strategic partner. They can invade a country because the Twin Towers are brought down. They invaded Afghanistan. And our plane is brought down by the Sikh terrorists. And if we go and knock out one of those terrorists in their soil, they are making a song about it. You think they're friends? America and those are talking to other. We know what the British 71. So point is, America in context. These are the people who promote the war industry, and they will never let peace reign in the world. If India has to come up and hold its own in this, universe, we have to come up with the diplomacy of peace, with the message of peace. We have Gandhi, we have Tagore. In Gandhi and Tagore, we have two icons. One, the apostle of non-violence and peace, and the other, internationalism. So, at the end, I will congratulate Mr. Mukherjee, Pradip Mukherjee, indeed a beacon of light, as his name suggests, for simplifying God. Because if God is not simplified, the Brahmin, the Maulana Sahib is in demand. You have to go to hell. Okay? Simplifying God is actually the first stage of putting an end to all these conflicts that revolve around inner positions of God. And that is the road to peace. And that's what we need in the world today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. Now, all you want to know about the book and the beyond, right from the author himself. Before we hear from Pradip Mukherjee, sir, I request Mrs. Navya Kakani to introduce Pradip, sir, to us.
Thank you, Sanjay. I'm feeling extremely honored to introduce Pradip Mukherjee, sir. Pradip Mukherjee, sir, is born in a family that had no interest in religion or spirituality. What fascinated this human was science and technology. Life gave him a company to run, which was manufacturing engineering products. But this human was interested in understanding the meaning and purpose of life. That question took the human on an exploration in the religious and spiritual world. And one day, the question vanished for this human, and a clarity descended. That clarity, the human realized the meaninglessness and emptiness of life. All existential wanting was gone. Now, life became simple and ordinary, and was just about enjoying the day-to-day living. In 2008, this human left a secure life of comfort and prosperity. And then, a series of roller coaster events happened over 8 years. A journey through the guidance of God for the souls in facilitating their going back home, from where they had come and then became trapped in matrix. The work completed in August 2020. Since then, through the will of God, this human is working to alleviate the suffering of the humans to the extent the humans are willing to accept what he is giving. That brings this human today to this event in front of you all, and that's who Pradip Mukherjee sir is. It is my privilege now to request sir to address the gathering.
Sure, actually. Thank you. Okay. Hello, hello. In that last, in that, okay, you're able to hear me, sir, in the end? Okay. I was listening to the distinguished speakers and I've forgotten what I wanted to say. So, okay. First of all, this experience of the book launch is such a mesmerizing experience for me because I never even believed that one day I'll be sitting like this and talking to you all. My journey began in 1994 and today's 67 years. So it was somewhere around 38 years I did a workshop and then something happened. And in that what happened, I realized one thing, that whatever I say, it came into creation. And I had to then kind of figure out what exactly happened. Why was this creation happening because of what I was saying? And from there started a whole journey of exploring religion, exploring spirituality, exploring psychology, exploring transformation, exploring what it means to be a human, and exploring healing. So I have moved through that whole gamut of everything that a human is interested in other than science and technology, even though science and technology was my bread and butter and kind of giving me the resources for all these explorations. My fundamental quest was only one thing. What is the meaning and purpose of life? So I am a man who is not very academic. I'm not a scholar, I'm not a great thinker, I'm not a great philosopher. I'm not someone who can dwell into all kind of intellectual discussions. I'm a man who is really into the basics of life. And in that basics of life, the fundamental question for me was, what am I doing here? How do I live? What am I supposed to do? And basically it was about what is the meaning and purpose of life. I searched that question everywhere, in all ways, through people, through books, through workshops. And then one day, something happened. And the beauty of what happened was this, that I was coming back from my place of work back to home, and there was a azan, a mosque. And that azan triggered something in me. What it triggered was I went out of my normal existence or awareness, and I reached my home with a drive of over 45 minutes, covering a distance of almost 12 kilometers in the
of traffic and not knowing anything what happened. Awareness came back when I was parking my scooter. I couldn't understand what exactly happened, but there were 5 lines that got downloaded in me in that time. And these 5 lines were all about responsibility. The first level of responsibility that I got that humans have is you are responsible, which means anything that is happening in my life, you are the one who is responsible for that. This person is always blaming others for everything that is happening to that person. The second realization came is we are responsible. When this person has a greater understanding or little more understanding, this person now realizes that I have also contributed to my own suffering and pain. The level of realization that came forth was, I am responsible. In this realization, the person gets it, that no one really is responsible. I'm the only one who is causing all my pain and all my suffering. Others are just doing what they are doing. But that is not what is causing my pain and suffering. I am causing it in a certain way. Then came the fourth level of understanding, which is no one is responsible. This is much higher level of responsibility, in which the realization happens that not even me. Because for me to be responsible, I have to have certain amount of will, a certain amount of freedom to make it happen. So no one is responsible, I thought would be the ultimate one. But there was one more waiting. And that one more waiting one finally came was nothing ever happened. It is all a dream. Which means I was never born. I am not going to die. I am dreaming that I am. And I am trying to figure out who is responsible for this game. The 5 levels of responsibility or realization was the crux of my spiritual journey. And this spiritual journey did not happen because of what I did, which means I did not do any sadhana. It happened. And I thought I had reached the ultimate. But that was not so. Something more was waiting, which would zap me out. Because I thought there is nothing beyond spirituality. God was not a phenomenon I was interested in. Because I was not religious. And I was not also seeking enlightenment. I was not seeking anything. I was in a place where I wanted nothing from life. Where I wanted nothing to become, nothing to reach. That is where I had reached. I had existential needs, which means I need money to take care of my family, or I need to complete certain tasks because I was in business. But I did not have any existential needs. I had no ambition. I had no need for proving anything in life. And so this journey continued. I started teaching healing to people. I was using others' techniques. And then one day I thought, why not I have my own technique? So I went, I knew all these manifestation techniques and all. So one day I just said to the universe, if anyone is listening, can you give me a technique that I can teach to others? A technique is very simple. A technique that delivers results in real time. Two conditions. It has to be simple, it has to deliver results in real time. And then someone came to me, and the technique was given to me. I took the first class, I taught them the technique, and I demonstrated the technique by actually bringing people to a chair, and I demonstrated how healing can happen right now, sitting on the chair, through the technique. When the class was over, one woman came and told me, "Did you get this technique from Shiva?" And I was surprised. I knew it was Shiva who gave me. But I did not have a confirmation of that. And that is when started my journey with the deities. The deities whom you call as Shiva, whom you call as Rama, whom you call as Krishna. It started journey with the gurus, whom you call Mahavatar Babaji, whom you call Sai Baba. So there were many who came, now I have forgotten many of them. They all wanted to work with me. The difference is humans worship them. I didn't care for them. I just said, if you have anything worth giving to me, give it to me. And they gave. And I used. The humans were using, healing was happening, the journey was continuing. But one day, all communication stopped. And I thought this is the end. After some time, a voice inside me, not a voice, but a strong thought inside me said, "It is now time to work with me." I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm God." I said, "Which God?" Because by now I knew all the gods. And I wanted to know which one. And he said, "I am Supreme God." I said, "Okay, I have no way to confirm because I cannot ask for your passport or and I cannot ask you to perform a miracle. Because by that time I had realized that even a low entity can create any kind of miracle that the humans want in life. My work with the non-physical domain had gone to a huge extent. So I did not ask his proof. The only thing is I started working with him. But I told him one thing clearly. I do not know you. I cannot verify who you are. I cannot even check that you truly are God and not someone else. But I will work for you. Which means I will not revere you. I will not believe in you. I will not worship you. I will not put you on a pedestal. I will not give you whatever the humans give to their gods. Are you willing to work with me then? He said yes. This is how my journey with God started. Not based on any reverence, not based on any faith, not based on any belief, not based on any kind of, or not even based on devotion. But I wanted to check out who this guy is, because for me he was a guy. Fortunately or unfortunately for me, when God shows up, the other one also shows up. This other one is the king of the universe. Humans know who the king is. They know him, but they do not know him as the king. And this king came and said, if you work for me, I will give you anything that you want. Beyond your imagination, beyond your wanting, beyond anything that you can ever ask. But do not work for God. I said, interesting. But I did not work for the king. Because the king I already knew, what would he give me? But God I was interested in. Because this is one phenomenon that I really wanted to know firsthand, not through the scriptures, not through the saints, not through the gurus, not through the holy men. And I was interested to know what is the agenda of God in coming to me. Why would God come to me? I am not a realized person. And then started a journey of 8 years. And in this journey of 8 years, I realized it was not about the humans. The journey was actually about freeing the souls that got trapped in the matrix. And these souls were not able to go back to God. No human can ever think of working for the souls to facilitate their going back home. You even do not know your soul. And here I was working for the souls to facilitate their going back home. And this work was not easy. There were many who came and opposed this work. There were many who came and put me into the wrong directions. But I do not go into all those details. But in this work, there were many things that I learned. And those are the things I have put in this book. This book goes against every scripture. This book goes against every philosophy. This book goes against every person who has ever uttered anything. Never ever such a book has been written for the humans. And up till now, almost around 10,000 books have already been given to people one-to-one, because we wanted to check out what does the book do to people, for the people. And there were 3 things that the book does. Number 1, the book is a bouncer. It goes above their head. It's too much for them to digest. Number 2, the book makes them angry. Huge way. Huge anger comes up in them. Why? Because it shatters their beliefs. And for the humans, they would die and they would kill others for the sake of their beliefs. But unfortunately, what are beliefs? Beliefs are nothing but blind superstitions. A lady asked me a little time back, do you believe in God? And I said, no, I don't believe in God. And so you write a book on God and you do not believe in God? She was surprised. But the point here is, those who believe, they do not know. And when you know, you do not believe. So, what I have written, I know. What you have heard, you believe. And when someone threatens your belief, you want to kill that person or you want to run away from that person. Only two alternatives. You can kill that person physically, psychologically, character assassination, or you can bring in all kind of debates, intellectual stuff. You will quote scriptures. But someday someone wrote those scriptures just like me. So this is the second thing that the book does to people. The first one is it goes as a bouncer. The second one, it it makes them angry. And the third one is the moment the book reaches to their hand, they feel it is very precious. They feel it has something. They feel the book is alive. They feel they want to talk with the book. They want to hold the book to them. They feel the energy of the book. And they say God is in the book. Which is true. That God is in the book as long as you are willing to have God in your life. God leads the book, and this just becomes a bunch of paper if you do not wish to have God in your life. So I think this is not a matter of belief. This is not a matter of faith. This is not a matter of devotion. This is a matter of choice. And I made a choice 8 years back to work for God and to understand what God is, to the extent God would reveal. And every human today has a choice, just like me, to choose God or not to choose God. Whether you choose God or you do not choose God, let me repeat to you something. Humans are not going to be there for long. This is the last life the humans are going to have. What will come subsequently will not be humans. They will be the aliens appearing to be humans. Why do I say that? There's a reason. I'm not saying it because I'm looking into the future. I'm not someone who goes into the future and reveals to you. I'm saying that because now the souls are going back home. And we, the humans, are souled beings. We were created, we were animated, our storyline was written by the soul. The breath was put into us by the soul. And when the souls do not do that, then that human becomes an alien. We also have something which comes from God. But the future humans will not have that. And they are known as the energy bodies. Because all energy bodies of all the humans are going back to God. So it doesn't matter whether you really choose this book or not. And God says very simple, something very simple to the humans. I'll just read it out. God wants the human to come to God. God wants humans should leave their deities, gods, gurus, and whatever they are worshipping and come to God. God wants humans to leave their spiritual and religious practices because neither religion nor spirituality was given to the humans by God. The question is, why is God wanting these things? And for that, you will have to read the book and understand what is God saying to the humans. And once you get what is written in the book, you will get that this is your last life as a human. No one will be left to be judged after you die, because in the West, they are scared of being judged after they die. In the East, they are scared of being reborn. The West is looking for salvation. The East is looking for liberation. And God delivers both. So there will be no one left to be judged, and there will be no one left to be born again. And this is what is going to happen. Whether you believe in God, whether you come to God, it doesn't matter. But if you come to God, and when I talk about God, I do not mean the Christian God that Christians talk about. I'm talking about Paramatma, the ultimate. If you come to God, God brings ease and peace in your life. God elevates your suffering and pain, but within your storyline, which means God is not going to deliver you heaven on earth. So that is in short. I have taken enough time. If you want to ask any questions, I'll answer that. Thank you.
Now the house is open to ask any questions. If you have any questions, please ask.
You actually raise your hand, identify yourself and ask it.
Please raise your hand. Our volunteers will reach the mic to you. কারোর যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আপনারা প্লিজ হাত তুলুন, আমাদের ভলান্টিয়াররা মাইক পৌঁছে দেবে আপনাদের কাছে।
I have been a very good speaker or a very bad speaker. Either everything went over your head or it went in so deep that you were left into silence. I don't know which one it is. Please.
Truly, sir, I realized something. When you were speaking, and with the book over here, I realized what peace is. In our generation, when we are raising our children and with all professional hassles and everything else, peace is required. I try to do meditation, I try to chant mantras, but my mind gets distracted here and there often. My son calls me, this happens, that happens, all the trivialities of life. But here when I am sitting and listening to you, this book has got some power, and your speech has got some captivating power, which has made us sit here peacefully all this while. And I think that is why no one is absolutely captivated right now. Thank you. This is what I take back home today from this seminar.
Can I say something very briefly? I was actually taken back to Ram Mohan Rai, the father of Bengal Renaissance, when Pradip Mukherjee talked about the needlessness of belief. Because Ram Mohan was very famous for one word, which used to upset his grandparents and parents and everybody. Hindu. He would question everything. And that was the beginning of the Bengal Renaissance. How something like that starts. Here, with this challenging of beliefs, because belief is the end of reason. You start believing in something, you are not prepared to open your mind and heart, both mind and heart, to exploring it further. So you turn towards absolutism. And absolutism is the end of reason, is the end of knowledge, is the end of anything that's rational in human life and society. And therefore, this challenge of belief, or this effort to challenge belief, I think is at the center of his whole exposition. And the second thing, which is very important, is generally when we think of God, we think of something central. The God is there. The God is in that temple. God is everywhere. It's the supreme energy that goes around and keeps this huge celestial universe together. It can't be found in one temple, one mosque, one person, one creature. It's plural in nature, it's diverse in nature, it's omnipotent and omnipresent in nature. That's the way I would interpret what he has said. And this is these two things. A is this desire to challenge, desire to question, desire to not accept something as belief, but to question it. And secondly, the omnipresence of what we think is God. It's not central. It's center है तो सब कुछ वहाँ पर है, ऐसा नहीं है. It's all over. It can reside in your poor man's heart. It can be in the palace of the king. Depends on how you look at it, what you do, your deeds. So I think I'm very impressed, sir, by this very idea of challenging beliefs, which lies at the core of reason, which lies at the effort to challenge orthodoxy, because whenever you are absolute, you try to be absolute, what I know is final, and when you are orthodox, that's the beginning of the end of reason, that's the beginning of the end of rationality in society, in human mind, and that's the beginning of the end of the world, I would imagine. Thank you.
Although today's topic knows no end, we have come to the far end of this program. I am requesting Tanmay to come here to give a vote of thanks. Now over to Tanmay. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude and immense joy as we come to the close of this remarkable